Hey guys. Hey guys. Welcome to another episode of Hello World with your girl Joy from Be the Difference. Tonight is going to be amazing because we have a guest this evening. So before we have our guests come on, we have to do our little hellos and all of that good stuff to see how everybody is doing. What up, manager? My manager's in the building. Hey, what's going on? I hope you got your finder's fee. What's going on? How you doing? Love Blake. How's everybody doing on your side of the world or the town? I need to first and foremost see if I'm buffering. So let me go check that out. And feel free to subscribe and share and like and definitely share out today's stream so we can show our guest a lot of love so she feels welcomed and all of that good stuff. How was your day, Love Blake? I hope you had a good one. That's this one right here is a commercial. Okay, here we go. Hey, we have a member. We have a member, and it's Jaden Shaw. Yeah, Love Blake, you was holding it down as the first one in. You're all by yourself. You won't be by yourself for too long. Hey, 50 plus, how are you? Welcome. Guys, I'm super excited. Hey, Wanda, how are you? Good to see you. Oh man. So, before we have our guests come on, I have to tell you how my day went. So I woke up this morning, I went to work. Work was good. Work was fine. There was no hiccups or anything at work. I did, however, have to leave work early to go to the dentist. Yes. So guys, I finally finished the work that needed to be done on that one tooth. Please, guys, when I ask you to please check up on your health and take care of all your body parts, please do so because it can get costly if you don't watch and be careful and be mindful. So that's what I had to do. Hey, grades for you. How are you? Wait a second. I know I just mispronounced your whole name, but I'm just going to say grades for. Thank you for coming. I know you're going to enjoy. Hi, Olivia. Welcome. I know you guys are going to enjoy this. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, so basically, just so you know, for all of the people who are new, hey, Jaquetta, what's going on? If you don't know, Hello World is all about talking about everything and anything. It goes under the scope of interviewing people. And talking about everything and anything, social awareness issues. Sometimes it's lighthearted. So when you come to Be the Difference channel, that's one of the components that you'll see. What else? I just hope everybody's having a good day and that you did have a good day. Other than that, make sure you decide to either thumbs up or thumbs down. Now, the reason why I say that is because I want everyone to practice using their free will, something that we don't often use. We were birthed at that right to use our free will. And sometimes we don't do that. So please decide whether you want to thumbs up or down, and definitely share it out because we want to, like I said, support our guests. I'm going to tell you how I met our guest. Her name is Imani. If you came to the book signing, you would have seen Imani there because she was one of the authors that was at the book signing. And at that time, she was talking about she was going to release another book. And I was like, really? I need you to come on whenever you're ready. And so she was like, okay. And she took me up on that offer, which I'm so thankful for. And then the backstory to how I really met her. I went to Baltimore for an event. It was called, it was brought on by the Black Men United, I believe. I think it's Black Men's United. Oh no, Black Fathers United or something. I may be messing up the name or so. But point of the story is they were having like an author pop-up. And I was there, and that's when I met Imani. She was one of the vendors, and we were like maybe 2 or 3 tables across from each other. We had a good time. It was nice to get to know her. And just for the little bit of time that we had there, it was cool talking to her and talking to other people. She's a really cool person, guys. So I can't wait to bring her up. And I actually am going to bring her up in about 1 minute. But I want you guys to make her feel very warm and welcomed. If you have questions for her, please put question marks in the front and the last of your question so that I can see it. I'll put it on the screen, and when she can answer it, she will definitely do so. This, guys, is the launch of her newest book called, it's actually volume 2, Peer into My Soul. Yes. So I want to bring up Imani right now, guys. Please put some lovely hands in the chat, some hand emojis in the chat just to welcome her. And definitely, like I said, share out the stream. But without further ado, I want to introduce you guys, maybe for the first time, but not the last time, our newest author who just launched her book today, Imani. Hey, lady, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good. It's good to see you again. I'm so thankful that you came. Um,
Thank you for having me.
oh, no, not a problem. So I would like for you to tell everybody like who you are, where you're from, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you. So, hi everybody. My name is Imani Vee. I am a poet, an author, and an educator. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised. I've never left. I don't think I will. I love my city. I have a lot of love for Baltimore. I've been writing my entire life. I can think back to maybe third, fourth grade when I wrote, little short poems in school. Writing has always been the way that I've been able to express myself best. And that's why I enjoy writing. I'm able to get everything out, and I like to bring joy to other people as well. So I wrote my first poetry book, Peer into My Soul, and published that in 2017. And I had such a good experience with it. It was healing for me. It was therapeutic, and it also just allowed me to tell my story. And so I wanted to do that a second time with my newest book, Parents of My Soul Volume 2. I'm so excited. Today is the release day. So I'm just happy to be here, happy that I'm able to keep writing, keep inspiring, and keep sharing parts of myself with everyone.
Okay. Well, my first question for you is, since we're talking about the second book, when did you start writing it?
So I started writing this book immediately after I published Peer into My Soul, the first one. I'm constantly writing poetry, and so it never really stops. I do it often, and so I knew when I published the first one that there was going to be a second one. I already knew it.
Okay. So you didn't even wait. Like,
no, I didn't.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing, because sometimes people are like, well, let me see how the first one goes. And if it goes well, then I'll start on my second. But I think that's a good mindset to have, just to be like, I don't care. I'm going to just bring my stuff out no matter what. Tell everybody what your Instagram is in case they want to follow, or you can type it in the chat as well.
Okay. My Instagram is Imani Vee, IMANI VEE. And you can type that in. I'll put it in the chat as well.
Only reason why I'm saying that, guys, is because I follow Imani Vee on Instagram, and the last few posts that she made, I was like, oh, that hit right there, and it's her poetry. So if you might like to be uplifted, you need to go check that out. That's why I mentioned it. I really liked what I saw. So I know you said it was like writing was a part of just helping you, I guess, basically communicate. Like, how did you know that that was going to be the best outlet for you at such a young age? Something had that.
I knew that as a child, when my parents or other family members, when it was time to have hard discussions or deep discussions or just things that, as a child, you may be nervous about or awkward, I could never get the words out. It was like they were stuck. But whenever I had a pen in my hand and some paper, everything would flow so easily. And so sometimes, whether I was getting punished or whether I wanted to have a heart to heart, sometimes my mother would tell me, go write it out, bring it to me, and then we'll discuss it. And so I knew from a young age that writing was my way to express myself.
Would you ever ghostwrite for anybody?
Um, I don't know. I can't say a yes or no. I actually have never thought about it. But if the opportunity ever presents itself, I don't know. I'll see how I feel then. But I've actually never given that any thought to be.
You never know. Somebody might be like, listen, I need some lyrics to a song. I mean, shoot, did it.
Yes.
That's how some of the best songs come about, y'all. Oh, snap. We have a few people in the chat. Want to just say hi to Shiwana and Jasmine Nicole while they're here. This is her. Did you put it in the chat, or it looks like it's in a private chat real quick?
It won't let me put it in the.
Oh, okay. I get it.
So if you can put it in there for me, I thought it was going to go to everyone.
You know why? Because you're in the StreamYard only. If you were on YouTube as well, you would be able to. So this is her IG, guys.
It's my IG, Twitter, my everything.
That is her IG. So what made you want to do October 1st as the release date for your second?
So I wanted to do October 1st. I originally wanted to do this summer. First of all, I'm a summer baby. Shout out Team Cancer. So my birthday is in the summer. So I originally wanted to do this summer, but things, as everyone knows, got really hectic with COVID-19 and just with everything being closed and things, with shipping and trying to find people to be able to create the cover and all those sorts of things. So there was a bit of a delay, but I knew that this into my soul volume 2, that even though September 21st is the official start of fall, in my eyes, October 1st is the official start of fall. And I feel like when you start a new month, that's a time for new beginnings, for releasing things that no longer serve you, from moving into the future. And I feel that I'm doing things a lot differently. This book, I did do things a lot differently. It looks completely different than the first one. And so Peering to My Soul Volume 2 is a new beginning for me. And so I wanted to make sure that I went into the fall season, into this next chapter in my life, with a new book.
Oh, I know that's right. I like that. So speaking of the two books, right? So you have part 1, and now you have volume 1, and now you have volume 2. What are the two characteristical differences between the two of them?
So the main difference was that I feel that I completely shared myself in this second one. And I believe that, that was 3 years ago when I put out Peering to My Soul Volume 1. I was 3 years younger, and I'm constantly growing, constantly evolving. And I believe at that time, although I shared parts of myself, I was still very much afraid of what people would say, what people would think. We've all been there where we kind of live our lives for ourselves, but also kind of with other people in mind. I didn't do that with this. That's one major difference. Another difference is that I wanted this book to be interactive. Shout out to my sister, Jaquetta.
Yes.
Because she gave me the idea of including journal entries alongside my poems. And that was completely her idea. And I love that idea because I want my readers to interact with my poems and to be able to see themselves in my poems. And so Peering to My Soul, the first volume, was just completely poetry. This one, however, I don't know if everyone can see, but it has pages where you're able to journal and to write alongside the poems. And so those are the main differences between the two books.
Okay. Can I just ask if you could give us a little sample of part 2 of volume 2?
Sure, I can give you a sample.
Okay.
That is not a problem.
And while she's figuring out a sample, um, um, I know you can contact her directly on Instagram to purchase a book, but you can also tell us how much it is and all that good stuff.
All right, so I'm going to share with you all the poem Nostalgia.
Okay.
I just,
I'm gonna give you the whole platform right now.
okay. Thank you. So this poem is called Nostalgia. Last night I cried. I sobbed and clutched my chest because my heart was ripped in two. So quickly was it done. Then I realized you usually leave in the same manner in which you come. Too afraid to speak, paralyzed by fear, just out here being reckless. And there is nothing that can be founded on messiness. So our mountain crumbled, the empire collapsed, and it was too late to speak up. Our time had passed. Heartache and pain tossed from you to me and me to you, wishing that two wrongs would make it right, so that today we could have started anew. But it don't work like that in the real world. People's feelings are true. So what happened to the old you? That person became jaded, and later so did I. So late last night, I cried and cried. I cried tears for two. I cried tears for who we used to be before I was me and you were you.
Hey, you got to tell us the background to that one. That sounds like a personal thing.
Yeah, so like I said, I kept it raw. Everything in here was personal. So I wrote this poem after I had dated someone, and we both made mistakes as we do in relationships. And we both made mistakes. We both hurt each other, and we got to the point where we wanted to. The feelings were still there. We wanted to work it out, but it had been so much pain and so much heartache that had happened that we couldn't. And so this poem is a mourning for that relationship before we both caused each other pain.
Aww. Well, how did you come up with the title of your books?
So the title came about because all of the poems, well, first with Peer Into My Soul, the first one, all of the poems in that book were connected to me in some way, shape, or form. So whether they were my personal experiences, things that I had heard, ideas that had just popped into my head, maybe from watching TV or reading other books, they were all personal to me in some way. And I felt that even when I wrote poems that weren't necessarily things that I had went through, I feel that there's still a connection between myself and that poem, even if I didn't necessarily experience it. And so I felt like that's a look into who I am as a person. And it's important to let people peer into your soul. I think we spend a lot of time trying to cover up who we are or hide who we are, or I want it to be fully open. And so I wanted people to be able to open up and see who I am and see the real me, because I spent so much time not being true to myself.
That's deep. That's so deep. I feel like I agree with you on being as transparent as you can possibly be, because it's not only freeing for you, but it's freeing for the world, right? Because we actually understand each other on the levels that we really are, then we'll, you know what I'm saying? Then we're able to like, oh, okay, this is how you really move, instead of showing people like a jaded portion of yourself, or like just only a tiny speck of yourself, and then think that people can understand you just from that tiny bit, when this is a bigger part of you that is just like more important and should be emphasized on, but we only know this much. So I think like you'll end up having better relationships, like platonic relationships, romantic relationships, family relationships, when you can feel comfortable being who you are. I like that. Do your students know about what you do?
So my students know that I write poetry. Of course, I have not shared with them my pen name. just because all the content is not suitable for the younger ages. But they do know that I write poetry. The poems that I feel that they can connect to, I have shared with them. And I think that's important, especially in my first book and even in this book here too. I wrote poems specifically for my students so that when they grow up, when they're able to peer into my soul, they'll see that, Imani cared for them. And they know that anyway, but I really love my kids. So yes, there are poems in here.
Can I hear one for the kids?
Yes. Yes, I'll shout out.
I was just like, oh, now I'm like, let me see. Oh, I love kids too. Oh.
So this poem is dedicated to all of my babies across Baltimore City, whether past or present. This poem is for you all. It's called No Ceilings. I don't know if anyone has ever told you, but you are powerful. Full of power, yes, you are. Outstanding strength, you are roses that grew from concrete, breaking through the cracks in the system that they said will hold you back. You went great lengths to make sure that you stay on track. Look at the statistics in the news. The nation is waiting for our cities to fail. Yet despite the obstacles you face both at home and at school, you still prevail. Your train to success will never be derailed. Holding yourself to high standards, yet you always glance behind, ensuring that your friends too are in line to gain knowledge that no one can take away. That's power. So forget what the media says about Baltimore youth being misguided. You beautiful Black kings and queens are rising higher. No limits, no stopping.
I know that's right. I would be like, I could do it.
That's my goal, whether I'm in the classroom, inside the classroom, or outside the classroom, is just to inspire, especially our youth. I want them to do things greater than me. I want them to be bigger than me. I want them to reach all of their goals. And so that poem is definitely for them.
Yeah, that's that legacy leaving. That's great. That's that legacy leaving and building. Are you in your education as an educator, are you an English teacher?
Yes, I am an English teacher.
I have to ask that because it falls right in line with everything that you're doing, especially with kids that you might see that want to be a poet. You can be like, oh, I can kind of give you pointers. Like, I think it would be so dope if they knew that their teacher was like an author. You know? But then like the ones that really do want to pursue it or like have been afraid and think that they can't do it, when they see you, they're like, oh wow, I didn't know, like that's so dope. You know what I mean? That just brings it up to a whole nother level.
Yes.
Who did you dedicate your books to?
Oh, you're gonna have me cry on here. All right, so I'm gonna share this because I feel like everybody needs to know this individual, so that you can see. So this book is dedicated to my mother, Sylvia Antoinette Newsom. Both of my books are dedicated to my mother. She passed away in 2009, and she was only 45 years old. And so I dedicated both of my books to her because she's the reason I am who I am today. It's hard to even put into words. As much as I can express myself through writing, it's just hard to even just start to begin to describe who she was to me, to my sister, and just how she molded me. Like, this peer into my soul is because of her.
That's dope. That's dope. How much are your books?
So my books are $15 each. They are on Amazon for sale. If you're in the Baltimore area, there is a Black-owned bookstore called Urban Reads Bookstore. It's located on Greenmount Avenue. Both of my books are also for sale there. And you can also get them from me. I also have copies on hand as well.
Okay. A little later before we end, I would love to sponsor a book to somebody in the chat. If you want to do like a giveaway.
Oh, thank you. That would be, I would love that. Thank you.
You have to think of something how we could do this giveaway. But
okay, I'll try to I'll try to start thinking of something.
Yeah, you guys, I'm sporadic like that. So like it's just came to my mind. But you guys, please stick around because towards the end we'll do a giveaway of her book. And now is the time that we should support each other more, even more. So especially writing. You know what I mean? Like reading
Mhm.
things on paper because a lot of things that we're doing, nothing against technology, but it's something about flipping a page. You know what I'm saying? It's something about actually touching a piece of book and then having an author actually physically sign your book with your name in it. That's something that you can't take that away. Hey, Dad's Vintage, Sandra, Octavia, Akil. He was here at the book signing. Yes, I remember. Olivia. Oh, here's a question for you from Olivia. Do you have other plans for a third edition? I was gonna ask that too.
I actually do. I'm never going to stop writing. Never.
Okay.
So I do have plans for a third edition. Not sure exactly when it will be coming out, but I will keep writing. There will be a third book. There will be Peer into My Soul Volume 3. So in the coming years, please look out for that.
Do you ever experience writer's block? And if you do, how do you declutter that thought?
I experience writer's block often. There's so much that takes place in my life being an educator, um, trying to promote my books, promote myself, make time for myself, and as far as mental health, physical health, so much things that go into a day. And so it can really cloud your mind. But when I do have writer's block, one thing I do is go outside. Being in nature grounds me. It enables me to be able to focus and to sit still. I think we're very active now, especially with having technology and just the pace of our society today. We don't have many instances where we just sit and just be still and we're not connected to our phone or a laptop. And so I go into nature, just myself, my notebook. I might sit, I might take a walk and then sit, and I just allow whatever to come out onto that paper.
No, that's right. Do you ever find, or you have somebody, your uncle says hello?
Oh, hey everybody.
Lord, I done lost what I was going to say. Why did I do that? I should have got it out first.
So you were asking me about writer's block, and I was explaining that when I get writer's block, I go outside, I try to connect with nature, step away from the technology, become grounded.
Yeah, it was something else.
Okay. It'll come back to you.
It will, right? And then by that time, I hope I don't cut my own self off. There's some people out here just saying, keeping your positivity going.
Thank you. This is Sandra. Sandra, thank you. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you.
Yeah. Dang, I hate it. I hate it. Hi to everybody else that's here as well. Dang, it was good too. I promise you it was good.
It'll definitely come back to you.
Now, would you ever, this is not part of it, but would you ever travel to like other book shows? I guess when, COVID subsides a little more, would you travel to try to spread your awareness of your book? Your books?
I definitely would. As I talked about earlier with growth and evolution and becoming a better self, with my first book, I didn't do as much marketing and traveling as I should have. And so I want to change that now that I have Pen to My Soul Volume 2. And so as soon as I'm able, I'm ready to hit the road. I also love to travel. There's so many places across the United States that I have not been to. So I am definitely up for traveling, for finding different book expos, different events to go to where I can vend my book, meet new people, experience new foods and new places. I'm all for it.
Yeah, imagine the poetry that'll come out of being able, traveling all over the place.
Definitely. I even have a poem in here about my travels, my first time on the continent in the motherland. That's as well. So traveling definitely inspires poetry.
Okay, I know that's right. Jaquetta says, oh, here it is. What is your biggest challenge when writing very personal and sentimental pieces? Ooh.
So Jaquetta, that is a great question. Um, my biggest challenge when writing personal and sentimental pieces is being authentic and letting it all out. Um, just because some people take advantage of that when you're honest, when you're true, when you share different parts of yourself. Um, some people like to exploit that. And so my biggest challenge is myself, getting past my own thoughts, my own brain, getting out of my own way, and just allowing whatever it is that I'm feeling to come out onto the paper. Just because I'm putting myself out there to be judged, whether in a positive light or a negative light. So getting past myself and my own fears, I would say, is my biggest challenge when writing personal and sentimental pieces.
Okay. Have you had any positive or negative feedback from your book or your book?
Yeah. So with my first book, I received both positive and negative feedback, more positive than negative. Some of the feedback, the positive feedback, people felt like they could connect to some of the poems, and that they saw themselves in my poetry, which was my goal with writing that book and this one as well. The negative comments, it wasn't very many, but the ones that I did receive, surprisingly, were that I shared too much. So it was like, oh, this is real personal, or this is too much. And kind of let that go because this is my journey and it's my story to tell. And however much or however little of it that I wanted to share, I chose to share.
Right. And that goes to show you what their mindset is. Like they wouldn't feel comfortable sharing that part of their life with
Right.
anyone else. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And I had to move past that because I was there once as well. You know, it's like, ooh, I'm surprised that you would share that. But I look at it now, sharing is a part of healing. When you talk and you tell your story, that is a part of healing. That is a part of coming into yourself. And so I'm never going to stop doing that. I'm always going to share my experiences, who I am, and what I feel.
Have you done any poetry like jams or slams?
So I have not done any poetry jams or slams, but I have gone to a few open mics in the area, in Baltimore. So shout out to Truth the Poet, shout out to Keisha Lioness, shout out to Respect the Mic, just all these different open mics that are here in the Baltimore area that are curated by people here in Baltimore. Those have really opened up the way for me to be able to share myself and share my poetry. Also, shout out to Nate and Alex for doing the Snaps and Laughs poetry and comedy events. All of those different events definitely helped me.
Okay. That's vintage. He said he got here late. How young were you where you realized you had a bug to create and not sure what age group you teach, but how do you challenge them to create? Oh, that's dope.
Okay, so great questions here. So for the first one, I realized I had the bug to create maybe around third, fourth grade. I was always writing like different stories, but as far as poetry, that's when I felt the urge to write poetry and rhyme. And it was, the roses are red type of poems. But as I got older, I grew and developed into a more polished writer. And for your second question, how do I challenge my students to create? So I challenge my students to create. One thing I do is on Fridays, I have what is called Freestyle Fridays. So at the beginning of class, every day they come into class, they normally have warm up or a quick write. On Fridays, it's freestyle. They can write a poem, they can write an essay, they can write a journal entry, they can write anything they want, but they have to write for the entire time. I usually play like, a throwback song from the 90s, something positive and uplifting. And they just have to write that entire time. And so I challenge them to share pieces of themselves. I believe a lot of times, and I know I'm kind of rambling on here a little bit, but I just want to make this very clear that especially in the public school system, a lot of times our students' voices are silenced. and they are not able to share their stories. They're not able to tell their truths. And so what I always press upon them is to share and to let it out. And a lot of them don't even know how. They've never been asked to or don't even know where to start. And so I believe it's my job, even though I only had them for 1 year, it's my job to make sure that whatever little bit I can get out, that they're able to let that out, because that's going to help them as they go into adulthood.
I know that's right. And no, you're not rambling at all. It's all flowing very nicely.
Thank you.
I know I didn't ask you this, but does music also motivate you at all?
Music is definitely a motivation for me. You know, when I'm angry or I'm feeling hot about something or something has really got under my skin, you know, you can always find a song that kind of either brings you back down or just allows you to live in that moment. So when I want to come back down and become a little more peaceful, I might put on, you know, some Erykah Badu. I might put on Brandy, Monica, R&B, something to bring me back down. Or there are times when I want to live in my anger for a little bit. I'm going to put on some Meek Mill. I'm going to put on Jay-Z. I'm going to put on some people I can rap to let that aggression out. And so music is a motivator in that sense. And sometimes it even inspires me to write. So there are poems in here that are inspired by certain songs that just really move me or just that I enjoy listening to.
Okay. Your auntie says hello too.
Hey.
All right, Daz Ventures, thank you. So just because you're an author and everything, it doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna ask you why you decided to become an educator, because that doesn't necessarily have to do with writing, you know?
Mm-hmm. So I decided to become an educator, one, because I love reading. So as much as I love writing poetry, I also love reading books. If you ask anyone who is close to me what I'm doing when they call me on the phone, I'm either laying on my couch or in my bed with the book, and I need the physical book in my hands. I cannot do ebooks. I like to feel the book and feel the paper. And I've been that way since I was a child. When I was younger, my father actually put limits on the amount of books I could get.
Oh, wow.
I didn't want to go to the library. I wanted it for myself with my bookshelves. He was like, Imani, look, we can't keep going to the bookstore and buying all these books. So I've been that way, since I was younger. And so I want to instill that love into my students. And I also have a love for children. My mother told me, from the time I was a teenager and I started babysitting, she told everybody, Imani is so good with kids. Oh, you need a babysitter? Imani will watch your kids. I didn't mind at the time because I was, making my money. But I've always had a love for children. I always have a love for the youth. And putting those two things together is the perfect job for me. Just to go in and just inspire that love of literature, inspire that love for writing and for self-expression. I'm just very passionate about it.
Were you ever nervous because of being an African-American female, being an author? Like, did any of those limits ever make you nervous about just actually publishing something?
Definitely. It can be very intimidating at times being a Black female author. I've seen some people who, are able to come right out and just, find a publisher very easily, or find someone to market for them very easily. My books are self-published. My books are marketed by me and people who support me. And so I definitely did have those doubts. However, I had to push past them because although I don't have children of my own yet, I have my students who are watching me. And so if I were to simply say, you know what, I don't think I'm going to publish this because I'm not sure I'll be able to break through those barriers, I had to push past all of those doubts because I want them to look and say, okay, if she did it, I can do it too.
And I definitely give you a lot of props for that because I run into a lot of, I'm sure you do as well, a lot of people who always say they want to do something and they never really go all the way through with this. So I'm definitely giving you shout outs for doing that and accomplishing not just one, but two books. You know what I mean? and it takes a lot, guys, to put together a book. So, definitely check out her Amazon, or just DM. Forget Amazon. DM her directly on her IG. I'm gonna put the IG in the chat. This is her IG. If you really want to support her, really, really support her, go to her IG, DM her, and allow her to send you a copy of not just the newest edition, the volume 2, but also volume 1 and 2. Get both of them, guys, because you're also supporting her vision, and then you're gonna get that freeing experience of by just reading her book and also knowing, like, dang, if she could do it, so can I, as far as being free and more transparent in your own life. So definitely please go and support her. If you can't, if you have to go through Amazon, but try to go directly through her if you can. Do you have anything that you want to add? Because we can go ahead and start doing our little giveaway.
Okay. Just before we start doing the giveaway, I just want to say to everyone on here, if you are a writer, if you're a musician, if you make music, if you make art, if you make jewelry, whatever it is that you do, if you're a fitness instructor, whatever it is that you do, keep pursuing it and don't stop. There's somebody out there who appreciates you, who supports you, even if it's just one person. That's all that you need. Even if it's just you, that's all that you need. Don't stop creating, because we want to make sure that we leave our mark on this world. That's your legacy. So whatever your passion is, don't ever stop.
I know that's right. I know a lot more great things are to come. I'm support you.
Yes, you always have, and I definitely appreciate it.
No problem. I am right now I'm going to send you a Cash App for the book. I'm telling y'all right now, you see this right here? So whoever this is my Cash App. I'm about to send it to her. So we are going to do this giveaway. Sandra said, thanks for the encouragement. What is your Cash App name?
My Cash App is the same as
Imani. Duh. I should have known better. EMANI This is for volume 2.
Into My Soul, volume 2.
Yes. How long did it take for you to come up to actually get the whole process finished for this part 2?
For this part 2, it took me a good little while. When was that we did the book signing? That was over the summer.
It wasn't, because it
didn't take very long, because like I said, I'm always writing. So it was just a matter of, I sent all my poems to myself. It was a matter of just compiling everything, figuring out the order that I wanted it to go in. And because I went through this process with Peer Into My Soul Volume 1 with the first book, it was a lot easier this time. I already knew how to format it. I already knew all the different ins and outs of self-publishing. And so it was a very quick process.
Okay. Hold up. Let me go ahead. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I'm trying to connect this whole thing real quick.
Okay.
Does anybody else in the chat have questions for Imani?
Any other questions? Please ask away.
Yeah, please do. Hi, Big Reds. Welcome. I'm just over here about to Cash App her the $15 for the book. Have you thought of any way that they can win? Make it real interesting.
Let's see. I'm gonna think of something.
That's what happens. I go right off the cuff sometimes.
I'm trying to think, because I know there's so many people here. I'm really trying. That is a tough one. So I guess we could do the giveaway to
All right, there you go. It shows that it went through. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see if we have any poets in the house. Give me 3 lines of poetry.
Oh, that's a good one, y'all.
Three
You
lines of poetry. So to get your copy of Pierce to My Soul Volume 2, thanks to Joy, you need to three lines of poetry in the chat.
I know that's right. Come on, y'all. Put your thinking caps together. Let's get it popping. Come on. And how are you going to do it? Like the first person that does it, or?
Yes, the first person that can give me 3 lines of poetry.
Okay, y'all.
Original poetry, no roses are red.
How did you feel like you developed over time? Like, did you have to go to any courses or anything to like become a poet, or is this all like just from your soul?
So I actually, this is all just for me. I haven't taken any professional courses as far as like in school, but I did go to I think it was weekly. No, it was monthly. I'm sorry. There was a monthly poetry workshop. Shout out to Truth the Poet. She really helped me to develop my writing in those workshops. And there were also different workshops that she created throughout other months as well. And so those gave me some tools and some different ideas for how to expand and become a better writer. And I'm still growing. You know, this is a ongoing process. I'm never going to hit a mark where it's like, okay, you're the ultimate poet. There's always room for growth. And so as I go through this journey, I'm just continuing to learn and to become better.
There's one question, Big Red, because she just came in the chat. She said, what inspired you to write poetry?
So what inspired me to write poetry is that it's my way of expressing myself, letting out my feelings. It's therapeutic for me. So I mentioned in the beginning that I haven't always been able to speak my mind or speak my thoughts or say what it is that I feel. But if someone hands me a pen, it flows just like water. And so that's what inspires me to write.
Have you ever thought about like doing like, I guess, guerrilla marketing? Like, hey, you have your books in your trunk and be like, yo, buy my book.
I haven't. I might try it. I'm open to anything. So I have, my books came in today, so I have them all here. I could try it. I'm open to it.
Okay.
Open to it.
What other poets do you look up to, famous or local? Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good question. So I'm gonna shout out, all my Baltimore poets, poets that I've met here in the city. Just because we have to put each other on. I think that's important. And I love Baltimore, as you guys know. Poets that I look up to that are local. Shout out to my sister Jaquetta. Her pen name is Pen Fatale. She's a poet that I look up to. Shout out to a poet named Nate, Blue the Poet, Truth the Poet, Keish the Lioness. There's a long list of poets that I look up to.
Aw, shout out to all of you.
Chakra, he's a great poet as well. Just there's so many.
Have you ever been intimidated by any other? I'm not specifically asking about the ones that you mentioned, but like if you were at an open mic and you were about to go on, like, oh snap, how can I follow that? Had that ever come into mind at all?
It does. It definitely has. I'm like, wow, this person is great. Like, they're awesome. How am I going to follow this up? But I just go up there and I still perform, or I still read my poetry, because the great thing about poetry is it's the words, it's the message, it's the feeling behind it. And so because I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable, because I'm putting myself on the line and I feel the words that are in the pages of these books, regardless of whether someone is more polished than me or has a bigger vocabulary, people will still feel my words.
I know that's right.
I push past that.
I know that's right. Come on, y'all, get the writing. Get the thinking and the writing. We're actually in the process of doing a giveaway. All you have to do, the first person that puts it in the chat, 3 lines of original poetry. And you don't have to be polished. You don't have to be whatever. If it's coming from your heart and soul and your spirit, we're going to get it. So
Mhm.
3 lines of your own original, even if you make it up for the first time today, and you get to win a book, and it's already paid for. Paid for. So go ahead and get some. Come on and let's support Imani Vee, guys. We gotta support her. You can go to her Instagram, DM her. If you're locally in Baltimore, you can DM her and she will deliver a book if you are local enough. Okay. Local enough, or if you want to meet her more than halfway or something. Or last case scenario, you can go to Amazon and check her out. Oh, Patty D says, what type of poetry do you write, such as life, love, or hurt? Ooh.
So, Patty, that is a great question, and I actually shared some of my poetry earlier. I write about everything. I'm an educator. I write about my students. I write about love. I write about being hurt. I write about evolving and growth as a person. I write about everything, anything that comes to mind.
Girl, I think we got a winner right here. Look at this.
Okay, let's see. So we have Big Reds. Let's see what lines we have here. She says, nobody knows my trials and tribulations. They only see my behaviors. My mother only loved me just a little, not because she smoked crack or turned tricks. Go ahead, ask me about growing up in the bricks. Okay.
That's dope.
Shout out to Big Reds.
There's nothing to laugh about that.
Wow. And you just came with that just off the top of your head? That was
dome. Off the dome. Big Rez, you see what you just did. You in the right.
I'm not laughing. That was dope. That is going to be a great poem. I feel like you need to copy that, put that in
going.
a piece of paper, and keep that going. That's an awesome start to a poem.
Yeah, there ain't nothing to laugh about that. That was dope. I was sitting there like, okay.
I'm ready to read more.
Right? Be like, we want more. It's the truth. I know that's right. That's when the poetry is like, that's when people feel it more. And that's why I believe when you get this book, Big Reds, I believe you're going to really connect with Imani Vee, because she said, peering to my soul is really peering into the soul. So like, and the cool thing too, Big Reds, she has therapeutic parts in her book where you can actually write and journal along with some of the poetry. If you read something and it's like, oh, I need to write this down now, like there's little sections where you could journal. So I think that's really dope. You are definitely going to enjoy that. Big Reds, do you, if you can, Big Reds, on IG, please DM Imani Vee. Her IG is right here. That is her IG. Please DM her a mailing address so that she can mail off a book to you. Dang, I should have sent you a little bit more for shipping.
No, it's no problem. I appreciate the support, so I'll handle the shipping. Not a problem.
All right, so just DM her, Big Reds Eden Show. Please DM her, and okay, cool. DM her a mailing address. That way she can get you that book. I appreciate you guys for participating, and anybody who was writing, don't you worry. Sometimes it don't come quick. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that you ain't as good. So definitely appreciate that. Q&E's here. Octavia's here. Octavia's always here. She said welcome back to earlier because she was here for the book signing. She saw you at the book signing.
Oh, thank you so much. How you doing?
Yep. So I'm going to give you the solo panel. So whatever closing remarks and inspiration you want to leave with everybody, please do so. You do not have a time limit, so feel free to speak whatever comes to your mind, your heart, and just let us all be inspired and encouraged by you. And I appreciate you for coming back as well.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for your support of me and my vision. It really means a lot. You know, as Black people, we have to make sure that we support each other's endeavors and that we support each other's creativity. And I'm just so thankful for you for allowing me to be in this space and to engage with followers and engage with all these wonderful, positive people who are on here. So thank you so very much.
No problem. Here's the solo panel. And don't forget to tell everybody where they can follow you and catch you. Okay?
Yes, we'll do. So I'm actually going to close out. I'm going to leave you guys with one last poem. And this is just inspiration. This song, this poem is inspired by the song "Closer" by guerrilla. I love that song. It's one of my favorites. And so this is just inspiration for you all. So this is one of the poems in Peer Into My Soul, Volume 2. When I'm in the depths of despair, when I feel that I can't bear to go on, when I feel that I'm not enough, when I feel that life is too much, when I'm searching for peace, when I'm trying to discover what's inside of me, it brings me back to reality. Nothing is ever what it seems, and I haven't fallen too deep because the melody reigns over me. The grit and grime of just existing in this place washes down the drain. My problems and worries vanish away, and I emerge anew, glowing and radiant from cleansing my soul and pushing myself to grow. Lightness takes over that part of me that was brimming over with pain, and I smile. Her words wrap their arms around me and hold me tight. Everything is going to be all right. You're getting closer to your dreams. Everything you desire is within reach. You are in charge of peace. Just be still. Just breathe. Go higher and get closer to your dreams. So I just want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in with Joy and with me. Thank you all for your support. If you are on Instagram, please follow me at Imani_Vee. That's IMANI_VEE. Please get your copy of Peer Into My Soul Volume 2 and the first edition, Peer Into My Soul. And I just wanted to leave you all with that positivity. So thank you all for this evening and just for being in this space with me.
Yes. All right, guys, that was Imani Vee. Please support her movement, support her projects. Okay. And Big Red, congratulations on sharing a piece of your life with us. My name is Joy from Be the Difference Clothing, and this right here is
Imani Vee.
And we are signing out on the launch of her second wonderful poetry book, Volume 2 of Peer Into My Soul. And we are saying, hello. Good night, guys.
Good night.